because this is another thing I've heard you talk about. I feel like I'm in a therapy session with you.
It's good.
But it's been a learning experience, and it's been a difficult step for me to put some stuff out there. It's hard on TikTok. These kids don't know me at all. It's funny because I'll get people, these kids will tell me things like, "Oh, that impression sucks." I'm like, "Well, it built this 70,000 gallon pool, dude. It's good enough."
By the way, Frank, I'll be honest with you. Play with me here a little bit. This could be interesting. I think that should be something you try. I think the best.
I've thought about it.
But let me tell you something. This is very, very big. This is the punchline of this podcast, and we're gonna help 3 people who are listening right now. I can feel it in my soul. The biggest difference between what made you great and you became you, and this exact second, is the I thought about it, is the vulnerability. You know, you grew up in a world. I get it. I understand.
Gonna cry. You're gonna make me cry. You're gonna be Gary.
Because it's good, right?
Frankie C with
Frankie
Gary.
C. I'm excited about this because I thought about it once. By the way, Kevin James. Let's talk about Kevin James. Kevin James's team calls me a year ago, whatever, 15 months ago. We get on the call. And we have this. I remember I'm in California on the highway in between meetings, just on a call, and we have this like really interesting. I just had like a 30-minute like jam session with them because Kevin's a Jets fan. We'd interacted a little bit, and there was just something, I don't remember what, but something landed in the same way that I'm trying to land with you. Don't think about it. And all of us, and I just remember the whole team, the writing team and him on there, and it clicked. And so much good has happened on TikTok and other things for him since. And I genuinely believe the same thing would happen for you, which is in a world where you perfected shit before you showed the world, what's so fun about this is you get to perfect it with them, not without them. And when I tell you that if you started a whole shtick of you razzing the kids, razzing you, like in the meta of it, that would fucking crush.
Well, this is going to become a TikTok itself. With you saying that, that'll justify the reason for me doing it. So that's what I needed was, listen, I thought about that. I thought about taking the replies, the reply videos, the comments, the negative comments. I'd even mapped one out in my head. Here are the following impressions people say on TikTok that they say suck.
I think that you should 100% do that. B, when you make a video saying, "Hey, Ricky Pants 67," and you then show him saying this sucks, be like, you think that sucks? What about, like wherever you go with it, whatever the transition is.
So you're jumping into a world of, I love the idea of, hey, I'll show you. But at the same time,
No, you've got to be very careful. Yeah, I love you already.
I struggle with, I don't want to put, but you know where I'm going with
I know you're
because then I look like the big bad wolf.
Dude, you're the douche, the king douche. Yeah. No, you play with it for fun. Like you'll appreciate this, and I'm getting a sense of you. You know what has absolutely worked for me and others? Intent.
Right.
People like Gary Vee, and
that would be the tone of it as well, right?
Correct,
the tone, the way you put it
Or you
out.
invite the kid to swim. Like there's a million places you can do it. You see where I'm going?
I invite the kid to swim during COVID.
Yeah,
I got these other 4 kids. They're coughing. It'll be fun. Okay, Frank, here's my Iron Man, jackass.
But Frank, it really is intent. I remember when I first started putting out content in 2009, and I didn't know this, and this goes into your world a little bit. I didn't realize how much Richard Pryor, and I listened to so much Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy and Chris Rock as a kid. Like when I drove, it was sports radio or tape of stand-up. Okay. And so I'm 34 years old when I give my first keynote speech about business. And when I tell you I had no fucking idea what was going to happen when I went on stage, I had no idea. I just went on there. And what happened was when the lights went on, for some reason, I decided that I was going to communicate as if I was doing a set in a very improv. And it was really funny to me that happened. And I think so I was cursing like crazy. And I was getting so much pushback. It was, 12 years ago. It was a different time and I remember people begging me to change my style. CAA, who did my speaking, because I hit very quickly and became hot. and CA was doing my speaking at the time, and they begged me, big shout out to Peter Jacobs. They begged me to stop cursing. They were like, you will make so much. It's back to your point earlier about corporate America and the way you think about what you're going to do and not do. And
before you go on, already I know Peter Jacobs, that's the high end. Keep going.
Yeah, so exactly. So I just couldn't do it. I just needed to do me and was willing to deal with the ramifications. And then the world came to me. And the reason it happened was I had intent. It's how I actually spoke. It's how I naturally felt. And I had good intent. I wasn't trying to hurt people. I was trying to use it to get them to hear it. And I think if you come out with intent of not being a big shot, but just having fun with the community and enjoying yourself,
I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense because you can do that in a jovial way.
Correct.
It still keeps. That's what I'm trying to do with the podcast. That's what I'm trying to do with everything. Listen, I'm trying to get people to understand who I am and because I'm much more sarcastic in real life. I'm goofy and stuff like that, but people see me as the walks the line, maybe goes even halfway to the line, but on the podcast, I go all the way to the line, sometimes go over the line. It's me. We say things behind the scenes. Well, you don't. You talk exactly. Maybe I shouldn't say I don't know you that well, but you go out there and what you're showing is you're bearing your soul. When you go out there, and listen, these impressions that I do, it's a mask for me to hide, right? It's a way for me. I'm a kid who grew up watching all these TV shows of all the stuff you saw behind me. I was by myself playing with my Legos. My parents like, you ever going to come out of your room? No, I have my friends. They're the super friends. Mm-hmm. They're going to, meanwhile, in Frank's room, he's putting together a Lego set. That's who I was. And hiding is what I've always been. And this internet stuff, when I go out there and look, you see people, the best people are the people who put it all out there. And you see the emotion. I learned this. I
apologize real quick. The ones that have the sustained success are the ones, because there's a lot of people, to your point, who are absolutely putting up facades without acknowledging it. The beauty of impressions is let me rephrase. I don't think most people enjoy psychology enough to know that that's what you were doing, but I do. Whereas a lot of people are saying they're being authentic. It's why, but then not. And they're the ones that can't have sustained success. To your point, the sustained success, you know how fun it is to not have to think? Frank, I never have to think. Everything I talk. Like, there's no like when I go to the restaurant, like, I better be like, when you could just be yourself 24/7.